trivial. So this was very nice, and we enjoyed working together. And subsequently, you spent a sabbatical in Grenoble and came to us in Rennes first. And I remember a visit there in Grenoble, and I seem to remember something about a broken arm and skiing. And this gives one of Stuart's real qualities. He broke his arm the first time he went down the slope on your sheet, but he didn't say a word. And he drove the car, and he drove home. He said, "Oh, it's okay, it's okay." And only when he got home, he said, "Oh, it hurts." He went to the doctor. This is one of Stuart's qualities. He always is busy with doing things for other people, and then he thinks about himself later. That's really nice, I think. And in Roseau, we saw another problem, which you probably remember. I can ask you a question. How many people can fit into an European Ford Taunus? Do you know? Right, exactly. 10. The answer is obviously 10. We have 3 children, and they have 4 children, and except for one, our daughter who was in Poland at the time, I think, we all fit in this 10-person Ford Taunus, and we've been often to La Trasimeno, and we lived together. It was very nice, actually. We had a really good time. And that was a part of our memories also that you came to Holland to visit us, and in our house in the New Landenberg. And at that time, Johnny was still healthy also. And I feel a bit ashamed at that time because I made Johnny take a bicycle. Everybody should take a bicycle in Holland. So I made Johnny take a bicycle. And she got a bit tired. And the wind was strong, and that's the trouble. The Holland was flat, so you can ride a bicycle without any trouble. But there's the only trouble is the wind always comes against you there. It never comes with you. That's a problem. And so later we thought that you were, we didn't know at that time, but I thought, well, Johnny, don't be that way. But I thought that was probably one of the beginning signs of your MS at the time. And later, Stuart convinced me to apply for head of department position here at Stores, which, luckily for all of you, your department made the correct decision and hired somebody else. I would really have been a good head. Well, legs are more my specialty. And of course, then Nick and I remember with much warmth from those earlier days, visits in New York and later in Stores with Johnny's parents, whom we both admired. And I still have a shaving brush which you brought me from your father-in-law's store as a gift from this Salem store more than 30 years ago. Of course, it's been used quite extensively, so you might not recognize it. It's getting too long, I'm sorry. But it's all for Stuart and Johnny. So I'll jump to the present. After forced retirement in Holland, we came to Westville. And one of the strong inducements was that you would not be far away. Little did I know that at a Passover at your house, I, as a boy, would be asked to read the Seder, my Hebrew being less rusty than the others. I'm missing some page. So that's the prime example of Shabbat boy, I think. So we've been able to keep up well with all families and children, grandchildren now. We hope for the continued health and good happiness, and especially for Stu's good health in the years to come. Stuart, thank you very much for your friendship, for your mathematics, for your teaching, for your singing, for your enthusiasm, and your excellent care for your family and friends. Now, it's time to take care of yourself.
Thank you, Mike. Our next 2 speakers are internal candidates. So they know I have to keep it short. And first is Ron Bly. Mark Naples on deck.
Before I was warned to keep it short. I will keep it short. I have a small gift for Stu. Stu is retiring, and I'd like to explain to you the gift. I'd like to explain it to Stuart, actually. So, Stu and I were hired more or less at the same time. Well, actually, exactly at the same time. We went to France for a year, met him in 1972, and very quickly I became impressed by what a strong mathematician this man was. Organized mind, orderly mind. His expositions were masterful, truly. Because I know this is not tongue-in-cheek, but his boards, his lectures were works of art. His notes meticulously written. And I'll come to the point. Have you ever walked into Stu's office? No, seriously. I mean, I could never figure this out. I mean, here's a man who will listen to you, he will listen to an argument, he will see the disorder in your argument, he will go into this mistake, that mistake. But then you look at his desk, well, there's about 2 feet of paper. There's a desk, and contiguously there's a table. You can't really tell them apart, because there are mounds of paper covering the surface. It's well, you spent a year in France, you know the saying, quel bordel. Well, anyway, I'll come to the point. So, finally I figured out, I finally stumbled across the truth. Can anyone explain what this apparent contradiction? Well, it took me a while to, and I stumbled across a stone, and there was a truism actually etched into that stone. And the truism is, I'll read it then. It's etched in stone, the cluttered desk. The cluttered desk is a sign of genius. I think it is appropriate. And by the way, there may be some who are wondering about the converse. That's an open question. That's an open question. It's been added here in indelible ink in the converse.
Thank you, Ryan. Okay, our next speaker, I don't know if there's an element of revenge in this presentation, but it's Mark Nichols. Many of you know that Stu is want to contribute songs at occasions like this, and so Mark is providing some competition.
Can I sing it? No, sorry. Yeah, not much holding on things. All right, so first of all, we've been here about 11 years, and I've known Stu mostly through our mutual association with the Hill Congregation in Mansfield, but also in the math department. So since I'm a numbers guy, I don't talk, I sing. Okay? So the name of the song is Sydney. The music is by Ruth Ann Friedman. Lyrics are by Mark Nichols, with apologies to Ruth Ann Friedman. And this is to the tune of Windy by the Association, 1967. Who is the guy who's been here for decades, teaching math courses of every type, geometry and combinatorics? Everyone knows to Sydney. Who runs the calculus competition, writing exams to challenge the best? Who is the man who proctors the Putnam? Everyone knows to Sydney. Stu Sydney can also sing, helps you come with fundraising, wins honors for his teaching. Alumni Prize 2005, Academy of Arts and Science. Who brings his hummus in a hat? Who eats his matzah every day? Who walks along with Joni's ponies? Everyone knows it's Stu Sydney. In math, students to Sydney take stock of algebras by Banach. With words he does also rock. He likes his puns, the real bad ones. He's never done, they're just for fun. What can I say about our Stu Sydney? Witty and generous, always a smile. We'll dearly miss your cheerful demeanor.